everyone, it's Teddy Baldassar. It's 2020. Let's get down to business.
Hello! It's 2020. Let's get down to business.
I'm Adrian from Bark and Jack, and it is 2020. Let's get down to business.
Hello, my name is Marco from Swiss Watch King. 2019 was awesome. We had a great year behind us. It's 2020 now. Let's get down to business.
It's 2020. Let's get down to business. That's right, guys. 2020, 2020, the Roaring 20s have returned. Clean slate, new decade. I'm so excited for everything I want to do this year, and I'm bringing you along with me, guys. Yeah, very special occasion. Almost feels like a new season here at the Time Teller channel, and I want to thank all the other content creators that helped me out with that intro. I figured there'd be no better way to ring in the new year than to share it with some of my other favorite watch guys here on YouTube. So please check out their channels. Links in the description below. Subscribe to all of them because they put out some amazing content and they're all really, really great dudes. And the better they do, the better we all do here in the watch world. So yeah, guys, thank you for being in my episode. So okay, if you couldn't tell by that earlier intro with me hiking around in the wilderness, I've been spending some time with Boldr's newer field watch. You've seen me review the Boldr Venture, but this one is the Boldr Venture Automatic. That's right. No batteries in this baby, but yeah, special thanks to Boldr for sending me this Boldr Venture Automatic Sandstorm. The Sandstorm is this color variant with the white dial, and you know, I have some things I like and maybe some things I don't like, but we're gonna go over all of that in today's debut episode for 2020. So let's go ahead and take a closer look at the new Boldr Venture Automatic. So this Boldr Venture Automatic Sandstorm has a 38.2 millimeter titanium case with a 44.1 millimeter lug to lug. It's 12.2 millimeters thick, and guys, I got all of these measurements with my own caliper tool, so they're as accurate as possible. It's got a sapphire crystal. It's powered by a Seiko NH35 automatic movement. It's got a 200 meter water resistance rating with a threaded crown, and it's got Japan Super Lume, and we're gonna get a shot of that here right now so you can see that glowing. And I'm currently wearing it on a Wrist Candy Watch Club NATO strap. So guys, the first thing that I want to talk about when it comes to this watch, and I think it's kind of the main selling point of this watch, is the titanium case. Doesn't anyone knock anymore? Like, what is going on? I spend all this time and effort developing high-tech security systems, and people are just able to vault right in to my personal laboratory as if it's the playground. Okay, things, you can't just walk into high-tech. Are you the government? Okay, like, what are you doing here in the first place? Because I assure you, everything here is pretty much legal, okay? Everything is up to code, up to specs, the zoning is all good to go, everything is kosher. Not that there are any Jewish people here. There's no Jewish people in my laboratory, do not worry. Not that there's anything wrong with Jewish people, okay? I love Jewish people. It's like, I know, I sound German, things can be a little bit iffy, things will be a little bit sketchy, but nothing nefarious is going on, okay? Jewish people can come into my lab if they so choose, voluntarily, if they go through the right pathways, and they apply, and they get a permit to come into the laboratories, they can be fine. I like Jewish people. Nothing wrong, nothing wrong, nothing wrong. I realize the more I talk, I am digging myself into a bit of a hole. So let's go ahead and maybe just introduce ourselves to each other, and then we can just, you know, hold judgment till the end of the interaction, and maybe you'll find out that I'm a pretty cool guy. Okay, just chill. The name's Dr. Corbin Poopscreech, all right? Not to be confused with Professor Finkel Poop Schmear, okay? We are not related, all right? I do not want to be associated with that trash. He's stupid and has a dumb name. He's barely a doctor, okay? He has a PhD from, like, DeVry University or something. I do not like the guy. I'm sorry, it's just... I was doing a really big experiment, we couldn't tell, there's a bunch of stuff going on, and then I see these people in my lab, and they're like bothering me about things. Anyway, okay, titanium. You've come to the right place. You have questions about the titanium. Well, guess what? Dr. Corbin Poopscreech knows everything about the heavy metal. It's a little joke. It's because titanium's actually not heavy at all. So it's a little scientist humor. Again, you probably don't know anything about that, because by the looks of you, you just seem to be one of those macho jock guys, which Whatever, sure, okay. Oh, cool, yeah, cool. In high school, oh yeah, I'm so good at sports. Look at me, Corbin, I'm good at sports. Oh, yeah, Corbin, check it out, I have girlfriends. Oh yeah, Corbin, you should play sports more, you little nerd. Well, guess what? I have my own girlfriend. We argue all the time still, I don't... It's like, where's the off button, you know? It's like, where's the freaking mute button? She actually has a mute button, so I can actually literally shut up. Yeah, and I've never spoken to a real girl though yet. Someday, I'll be ready, so. Let's talk titanium. Titanium. Atomic number 22, with a melting point of 3034 degrees Fahrenheit. Wow, that's hot. Titanium is resistant to corrosion from seawater, aqua regia, and even chlorine. This stuff is tough. Titanium is also very efficient at heat transfer, so although the melting point is 3034 degrees Fahrenheit, it might not stay hot for long. And that's pretty cool. Now, although titanium is very, very light, it's also super strong. I cut the sleeves off of my lab coat because it couldn't contain this juicy meat. Wow! I actually developed a serum to make my muscles stronger. I spent like a whole month on it and it ends up that it's just like straight up whipped cream. Like I was literally drinking whipped cream. My cholesterol is terrible. Also my blood sugar is a bit too high, but I'm a doctor, so it's cool. I'll figure it out. Anyway, back to strength. Titanium is much lighter than stainless steel, but you'll be happy to know that titanium is approximately 3 to 4 times stronger than said stainless steel. Wow. Anti-corrosion, very strong, very light, anti-magnetic properties. This is all very conducive to a very good material for a wristwatch. However, that melting point, 3034 degrees Fahrenheit, if you were wearing a watch on your wrist and you encountered temperatures that hot, chances are you'd be dead for a good long while before then, so that's kind of irrelevant, but still pretty cool. So guys, that's really all I have to say to you right now about the titanium. I have to get back to this old ball and chain, you know, a bunch of experiments, maybe, I don't know, I've been getting some hits on my Tinder profile lately, so, you know, there's Bumble, plenty of fish, you know, human girls will respect me eventually, versus they like it or not. I'm just kidding, that's a little scientist humor. I'm actually very depressed, though. I'm super depressed. Please leave my lab. Please leave. Okay, this is getting super awkward and I'm just got some lab stuff to do. Do you have a sister or something? Maybe we could exchange numbers or, you know. I am a doctor, after all. I made all this. Is it getting hot in here or is it just me? God, I kind of wish it was 334 degrees Fahrenheit because then we'd all be dead. We wouldn't have to be lonely all the time. Jeez. Okay, I get it. I'm a loser and I'm not good at social interaction with other humans. Can you just... Bye-bye. But let's get back to the watch, okay? Bottom line, it's light. Like, freakishly light. I'm gonna go ahead and put it on my wrist and I'll probably forget that it's even there. All right, so here it is, the Boldr Venture on my 7.5-inch wrist. Again, only 38 millimeters, right around there, but it's got approximately a 44 millimeter lug to lug. So, you know, it's not tiny on my wrist, but I'm sure some of you might think it's a bit too small. But yeah, dude, that titanium, like, where is it? Where is the watch? Oh. It's right here. But to really bring this point home, let's go ahead and compare this Boldr Venture to the Boldr Expedition version 2 that I fairly recently reviewed last decade. It's a really dumb joke. Okay guys, so just to show you exactly how light the Boldr Venture automatic is in titanium, we're gonna go ahead and compare it to the Boldr Expedition version 2. So let's go ahead, we'll turn on the scale, we'll zero it out. Now I've taken both of these watches off of their straps, so there's really no variables here. And then here we have right around 97 grams, okay? Let's take the watch off the scale, zero it out just to make sure everything's good to go. Now here's the Boldr Venture automatic in titanium. 46 grams, so substantially lighter, guys. Just an incredibly light, like, again, freakishly light watch on the wrist. And yeah, you practically don't even know it's there. So yeah, it's just insane. This watch, again, super duper light. But that being said, everything about this Boldr Venture feels really solid. Like, it feels like a robust watch. It just kind of blows my mind. But again, this is a field watch, and that's kind of an attribute that you want when it comes to, you know, a watch you'd bring with you when you're out in the field, whether it be camping, overlanding, going on a hike, some excursion where you're gonna be probably carrying some gear, maybe wearing jackets, and you know, you want a very lightweight watch, especially if it's going to be a piece of equipment you have on your wrist. And yeah, it lays flat out of the way. It's not gonna get caught up on any straps or jackets. Yeah, again, although it kind of wigs me out a little bit, how light it is, you know, that's what you want from a field watch. And speaking of it laying flat, it's only 12.2 millimeters thick. And again, the added thickness is just because it has an automatic movement now, that Seiko NH35. Now, speaking of that movement, it's nothing, you know, incredibly special, but it is a Seiko workhorse movement. A lot of micro brands use that movement. It's incredibly reliable, incredibly robust. And although I kind of prefer the Solitas that are in the Boldr Expeditions, there's absolutely nothing wrong with this Seiko NH35. You're getting hacking, you're getting hand wind. The NH35 does have a date complication, but this one does not, because the dial covers it up. And again, with kind of a typical field watch, you're not gonna have a date complication on very many of them. So yeah, I kind of like the look of this. And speaking of the look, I think it's very unique with the white dial. Again, I'm kind of partial to white dial outdoorsy watches because I'm in love with, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a print of my Rolex Explorer 2 16570, the 40 millimeter with the red GMT hand. So yeah, this kind of reminds me of that watch, but again, it's a much smaller package, much easier to wear package. And if I'm going out and about with Connie, camping, hiking, or you know, overlanding, this is a watch I wouldn't mind really beating up. And another thing I really like is that it's got the very typical Boldr unique handset with that little tasteful splash of orange coming from the second hand. Again, this is kind of everything you'd expect from a Boldr field watch, and that's a compliment. And speaking of this watch being very typical Boldr, there's a ton of functionality here. Again, kind of simple, but very modern at the same time. This isn't a watch like, say, the Hamilton Khaki Field Mechanical 38 millimeter. That watch is very, very classic, very old school field watch. This is kind of a field watch on steroids, because you're getting that threaded crown, you're getting that 200-meter water resistance rating, that sapphire crystal, the 24-hour markings. It's just a very fun watch to wear, again, that you won't mind actually taking out and using, because this watch can take it. Now let me be clear, okay? I always harp on the threaded crown, and I keep needing to say this. It's true. Proper gaskets in the crown and the crown stem and the case, that will stop any water from getting in. You don't technically need a threaded crown for the watch to have a decent water resistance rating. But the threaded crown is actually for another thing, okay? It's to help the watch mitigate any damage when you bump it up against something. And if you're gonna be wearing this as a field watch, there's a good chance you're gonna be knocking this around, whether it be on your equipment or on any of the vehicles you're taking, or again, on like rocks and stuff. So yeah, when that crown is actually threaded into the case, it mitigates any damage from the crown stem, you know, breaking inside of the movement. That's kind of a nightmare. And yeah, it just becomes a much more robust package when the crown is literally attached to the case. So that's why I absolutely love threaded crowns when it comes to watches that I'm actually going to be using. Now, speaking of the crown, okay, this watch, and I don't know if it's a titanium thing, but let me take it off my wrist and see if I can kind of imagine what I'm about to say as I say it. The crown isn't as smooth as I'd like it to be. It's not super like grainy and gritty. And again, I don't know if that is just the materials of titanium touching titanium, but it's not nearly as smooth as like the Boldr Expedition or the Boldr Expedition version 2. Those have very smooth, silky crowns when you thread them. This one isn't terrible. Like, it feels better than my Seiko SKX. That one has a notoriously kind of gritty crown, but this, I'll say it this way, it's not the smoothest crown I've ever felt, but it's by far not the worst crown I've ever felt. The worst crown is Vostok Amphibia. The crown's supposed to be bad in the Vostok, okay? It was designed to be bad, okay? You don't know anything about watches, Time Teller, because the Vostok Amphibia was actually designed to be poorly made, because then it's actually more reliable. Okay, it's just way too complicated. It goes over your head, Time Teller. Keep telling yourself that, guys, okay? The watch is trash, okay? The watch is trash. You didn't think I'd be going crazy in 2020? You're wrong. I'm going crazier in 2020. I'm getting nuts. So okay, I already mentioned this crown not being as smooth as I'd like, so let's go ahead and list some other things that I feel could be a bit off-putting to others. Not about me, about the watch. I'm very off-putting to a lot of people. Okay, first up, this watch has an incredibly unique case design, okay? It's kind of tonneau shaped, not exactly square, obviously, but it's also not exactly round, so I would go ahead and actually say, yeah, it's kind of tonneau, and it's almost got a little like porthole bezel above that tonneau style case, and 4 o'clock crown. Now, I could see this, you know, very unique, somewhat modern, being a little bit off-putting to some people that just want a classic field watch. Another thing that I already mentioned, this watch is like ridiculously light, okay? And for people that are used to wearing stainless steel watches, like myself, this is gonna almost feel like a toy. And I don't mean that because it feels cheap. I mean that because it's literally like I feel the NATO strap on my wrist, and that's about it. Probably the number one thing though that people will dislike about this watch is that it has patinated hands and lume indexes. So, you know, people always get upset like, oh, why fake the patination? Why not just let the watch get old? Well, typically, you know, with modern lume, it doesn't really get discolored very easily. So if you want kind of that, I don't know, aged aesthetic, you're gonna have to patinate the lume. So I think it looks really cool. I think that's a very nice contrast from the patination to the kind of clean white dial. But yeah, I think some people, just judging by my comment sections from other watches, a lot of people don't like, you know, faux patina. And last but not least, I think some people might find this watch a bit small. Let's see, 38.2 millimeters, so essentially 38 millimeters on the wrist. But again, it's got about a 44 millimeter lug to lug, so it's not microscopic. Let me look at the actual measurement that I put down. Yeah, 44.1 millimeters on the wrist. So yeah, 44.1 millimeter lug to lug. Not enormous. Again, it's very easy to read, and I kind of like that from a field watch. Come on, you don't want it huge. You want it a tasteful size. Again, there is a joke there, but I'm not going to say it. Demonetized. But guys, all in all, this Boldr Venture automatic titanium sandstorm, that sounds super metal, man. No pun intended. But guys, all jokes aside, let me see if I can actually get through an episode without derailing it. This Boldr Venture titanium sandstorm automatic, whatever you want to call it, it is exactly what I'd expect from a Boldr field watch. It's modern, it's robust, it's sharp, and it's functional. So yeah, if you couldn't tell, I'm a big fan. But this episode, you know, upon doing this review and really playing with a titanium watch, kind of dug up another question. Are titanium watches just a gimmick? Well, as we went over earlier in this episode, you know, titanium has some really cool attributes, but I'm not sure it makes or breaks a watch. Like personally, I'm not going to like freak out over a watch being titanium over stainless steel. That's just me. But again, I think I'm just very used to wearing stainless steel watches. So is it a gimmick? I don't know, again, because I think you could argue it adds some functionality, especially when we're talking about, you know, a field watch, a watch you're going to be wearing when you're carrying gear and hiking around. But I don't think that I would pay a ton extra for it being titanium. That's, again, It's just me. But if you are a titanium fanatic, that's right, I've made a little list for you today. Oh, a review and a list? Wow. So in my opinion, as of the start of 2020, here are the titanium watches you should get. First up, the Victorinox Swiss Army Inox Titanium. Now this very, very robust, kind of sporty field watch is 43 millimeters. It has a 200 meter water resistance rating, a threaded crown, a sapphire crystal. It's under $600, but the only downside I can see to it is that it's quartz. So if you're not into that, this might not be the watch for you. Next up, you know, we all talk about Hamilton khaki field watches, but not a lot of people bring up the titanium version. That's right. 42 millimeters powered by that H10 automatic movement, 80-hour power reserve, sapphire crystal, 100 meter water resistance rating, but does not have a threaded crown. Next up, perhaps one of my favorite watches on the list, the Grand Seiko Snowflake. How can we not have that on the list of titanium watches when we're talking about titanium freaking watches? Come on, 41 millimeters of very, very nicely, precisely detailed, incredibly meticulously finished titanium. I mean, it's Grand Seiko. How can it not be perhaps the sharpest watch possible? The SBGA 211 powered by that 9R65 automatic spring drive movement with a display case back so you can see all that Grand Seiko goodness in there. 72-hour power reserve, 100 meter water resistance rating with a threaded crown. I almost purchased this watch a couple years ago, but instead I used that money to buy my Grand Seiko J14070. I think I made the right decision, but I'm still absolutely going to add one of these to my collection someday. Dude, that dial, that spring drive movement, come on. Gorgeous. And next up, another very, very cool watch on the list. Actually, the most expensive watch on the list today is the Oris Big Crown Pro Pilot X. 44 millimeters, so actually, you know, a bit bigger than this Oris Big Crown Pro Pilot that I've been wearing. Actually, I wore this on that hike, and I wore this at the beginning of the episode. I freaking love this watch. But the Pro Pilot X is fully titanium, baby, and it's hand wind. It's got that Oris caliber 115 hand wind movement with, hold on, 240-hour power reserve. What the heck? Now you're getting a 100 meter water resistance rating and you're getting a sapphire crystal. It's a very functional watch, I'm sure, but it's $7,200. So it is a lot more expensive than this like $875 watch that I bought when it was brand new a few years ago. I think now these Pro Pilots are around like $1,300 or something, but yeah, $7,200 for the Pro Pilot X. And last but not least, if I'm going to make a list of titanium watches you should get, obviously Boldr Venture. Come on. I think it's a really cool field watch and I just reviewed it, so I'm going to add it to the list because I've had a bunch of fun with it, and this is kind of on my shelf of watches I pull from when I do go hiking or camping or overlanding. So yeah. I really like that kind of modern take on a tonneau case. I really enjoy that it's automatic because, again, that Boldr Venture quartz, that was the one sticking point for me. So I like that they finally gave it a soul with that Seiko NH35 automatic movement. I really like the faux patina, the patination. I like the white dial. I like that splash of orange, and I played off of that with this Wrist Candy Watch Club NATO strap. And yeah, it's just a great watch. And in my opinion, if you're looking for a very wearable, titanium, automatic, robust field watch, Boldr Venture, come on. And this is the Sandstorm. So I thought that was super metal. Judah. Yeah, guys, 2020, a brand new decade. I'm so excited to be back. I took a little break to kind of facilitate some things with the store, get things in order for the new year here on the channel, and we are freaking back, roaring ahead, hopefully to 100,000 subscribers. That's my goal here for this year. Will you help me? Yes, you will, because you're here watching the content, and that's honestly the easiest way to support the channel. So thank you so much, guys. I love you, and have a very happy new year. And special thanks to all the other watch reviewers, all the other content creators, my bros. Thanks for being in the intro and ringing in the new year with me. A special thanks to all of them. Links to their channels in the description below. Again, please subscribe to all of them and tell them that the Time Teller sent you. So guys, have a very happy, very healthy, prosperous new year. I love you. Everyone here at the Time Teller channel loves you. My editors, Connie, thank you. We thank you so much, guys. And we couldn't have done any of this, any of the things we do here on the channel, any of the things we do on Instagram or anywhere else on social media or at the Time Teller shop. None of us could have done this without you. So thank you so much. And yeah, if you haven't subscribed yet, then please click the subscribe button. Again, hit the bell icon so you don't miss out on any of the content we put out here. And please, there's links in the description below, again, to all the other guys' channels, but also to some affiliate links. So if you're looking for some, you know, watch-related gifts, if you want to buy yourself something nice, that'll take you to my Amazon store, and that's a great way to support the channel as well. Or you can go to my personal website, www.thetimetellershop.com. New restock on the way, if not already. So please go over there and take advantage of everything there. And yeah. Whole bunch of stuff going on at the store this year, whole bunch of stuff going on at YouTube, or I should say here on YouTube, whole bunch of stuff on Instagram, and yeah, I'm just so excited to join you guys on this crazy ride. You know, when I started here, kind of like midway through 2017, I thought it was crazy. 2018, I was like, oh my God, this is getting crazy. 2019, I feel like was the best year of my life because we made huge strides here at the Time Teller channel, and then, you know, huge strides over at the Time Teller shop. Like, we started a freaking shop, and then I just have a feeling 2020 is going to be crazy. And I'm very excited. So guys, I love you. Thank you so much. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm Jory Goodman, the Time Teller, here in the future, 2020. I didn't invent time. I just tell it. Love you guys.